Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is for those of you who want to pursue vascular surgery in the UK, as our guest today is Mr. Noaman Shaikh, who is an ST3 vascular surgical trainee in Kent, Surrey, Sussex Deanery. So let's get started. So hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you, Noaman, so much for doing this for us. So guys, today we are in conversation with Mr. Noaman Shaikh. He is an ST3 trainee in vascular surgery at Kent, Surrey, Sussex Deanery. A little bit about his background. He completed his MBBS and DNB surgery as well as an MCH and DNB in cardiothoracic and vascular surgery from India, after which he moved to the UK in October 2022. And he applied for training immediately the same year in December 2022 and managed to get a training post in vascular surgery. So your story is truly inspirational. How did you manage to do this in such a brief time? That's what we'll discuss today as well. And welcome and thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was a lovely introduction.
Okay, so my first question to you is, why did you decide to move to the UK after doing your MCH and DNB in cardiothoracic and vascular surgery in India? What was your reason to move to the UK?
So I had UK as a final destination anyways. That's why I finished my MRCS while I was doing general surgery. Me passing DNB general surgery and MRCS Part B happened almost within a month of each other.
Okay.
But I did pursue cardiovascular and thoracic surgery because I wanted to get some more experience in vascular to be sure that that is what I want to be in. And also, if I wanted to leave India as an option open for me, so I wanted to come to UK, get some experience, and if I want to go back and practice vascular surgery, since I have a degree to practice in India, I can do that.
All right.
Reason for coming to UK, I would say most important one is work-life balance. As a resident, it was very, very hectic, especially during my MCH days. I would end up being in the hospital for 36 hours at a stretch, at times even 48. And just
And
to,
this was at LTMMC Sion, I believe, correct?
this
Yeah,
was at
so
LTMC
it was one of
Sion.
the busiest hospitals.
It is a trauma center.
Yeah.
It is, our cardiac surgery department was extremely busy. So, yeah.
Okay, so work-life balance was your main reason of moving to the UK. How do you find it now in the UK, now that you're in the UK?
I think it is very reasonable. It is not very, it's not very unrealistic, I would say, where it's very human, from the perspective of coming from LTMMC, where 48 hours, 60 hours, at the end of that you're not quite sure, you're not very oriented as to what you're doing. But then here they have a time limit as to how much you can work. It's very, practice here is very safe, I would say. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I would also say the same thing. Absolutely. And why did you decide to apply to training rather than, pursuing the Caesar route? Because you already had a lot of exposure in vascular surgery.
Right. So the thing is, vascular surgery right now, when I talk to you about vascular surgery, you realize that it is not only open vascular surgery like people do. It has a lot of interventional aspect to it. An interventional vascular part of it there's a gray zone between interventional radiologists and vascular surgeons.
Yeah.
It is still dominated by interventional radiologists, but I think vascular surgeons are still getting into that zone of doing interventional procedures themselves. Now, as per the CSER route, it is one of the competencies that you really need. And it was a very good chance that I will be trained in interventional procedures as a trainee rather than going the CSER route, where I'm absolutely at the mercy of the people in that particular institution. Also, I might have to compete with the trainees in that institution to get my numbers. That was the only reason I thought a more structured training program is the right way for me.
Correct. And your training program, how long is it? Is it 6 years, I believe?
So it's 6 years, ST3 to ST8,
Yeah.
with 1 year of general surgery, either in ST3 or ST4.
Okay.
Though there are some talks about getting rid of the 1 year of general surgery and switching it to vascular, but nothing concrete yet.
Okay. So right now you're in your ST3 year where you're doing general surgery.
Yes. So
Okay.
I had a discussion with my TPD where, since he knew that I was confident in pursuing vascular, he said, finish off your general surgery and then stick to vascular.
Okay. All right. And why is it so different in the UK? Why is it not cardiothoracic and vascular surgery like what we have back in India? Why is it, different specialty wise? Do you think that is better or worse?
I think it's good to have a separate cardiothoracic unit and a separate vascular unit because uh, both are extremely busy. I worked as a cardiothoracic registrar in the UK for 1 year. It was busy as well. I can just imagine having diabetic feet also in the mix is not going to be easy to manage. I think the split is very easy. In fact, nowadays a lot of institutions are splitting up even the cardiac and the thoracic units, where there are only people who are doing only cardiac surgery and people doing thoracic surgery.
Okay. So between cardiothoracic and vascular, why did you decide to choose, vascular rather than cardiothoracic?
So I always wanted to do vascular. In India, as you know, in Mumbai, at least there is no vascular surgery training program. And I
Yeah.
did not want to leave Mumbai at the time for personal reasons.
Yeah.
So, but then having said that, it does not mean that cardiothoracic is any less interesting. It is extremely interesting. It's a very good field. It is demanding, yes, but then equally challenging, and you can't really get bored of that. Every case is different and new.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a personal choice and you're liking towards
It is a
vascular.
personal choice.
All right.
Yes.
The next question is, what is the scope of vascular surgery, in the UK or even in India for that matter?
Well, vascular surgery covers everything. So you've right from the carotid endarterectomies to diabetic feet, everything. So it is a very lucrative field. You have a lot of ischemic limbs. Diabetes is here to stay. A lot of with the screening program, a lot of abdominal aortic aneurysms. So, and not to forget venous diseases, yeah, varicose veins.
Correct.
So yeah,
So you see a lot of
I can assure
potential.
you that it has a lot of potential.
Okay. All right. That's good to hear. And let's talk about your 1 year of, trust grade post that you did at Oxford. Is that correct?
Yes, I was at John
So,
Radcliffe.
yeah. So how did you find that? Was the work, as good as what you would get back in India, or, I mean, in terms of how busy
John
was it?
Radcliffe is. I was lucky to get into John Radcliffe. To be honest, it is an amazing place. A very good work culture. The people there are amazing. The bosses are brilliant trainers.
Okay.
So, despite of me being a trust grade registrar,
Yeah.
they were happy to train me in everything. So there were obviously there are certain differences in the way you go about things in India versus here. So they were very happy to give me the time to adjust to the system here, to train me their ways, and then at the end of the day they were very happy that as and, that if I learn their way, I can then choose what I want to
It's
do,
better for
what
you.
I'm more comfortable with. They were ready to adapt to what I need, which
Okay.
was really very good.
Yeah, that sounds nice. And when you applied for training in December 22, how did you manage to, get your portfolio together within a span of what, 3, 4 months? Was it
So
very difficult?
I have been building up on my portfolio, not targeting it that
Oh,
okay, I will be applying for training or something like that. It was mainly I've just been building up on my portfolio and keeping the proofs of that ready with me. So and
okay.
when I came here, I brought all of it with me.
Okay.
So
So
it wasn't.
you had that in your mind even before moving to the UK that you want to apply for training.
So initially, I was a little confused as to whether I should apply for training or not. But then after coming to the UK, yes,
Okay.
definitely. Then there was no thought that about it. It
Oh,
was always better to opt for training. And I
so
had
it,
a lot of guidance from a couple of colleagues, Gaurav and Nachiket. All of them were really helpful. Even Amrish, for that matter,
okay.
all of them were very helpful in helping me decide. In fact, these were the ones who encouraged me that what you've got to lose. Just
Yeah.
apply for training. If you don't get training, you always have next year if you want to apply. At least you'll come to know how much what is the deficit in your portfolio that you need to build on.
Correct. Yeah. So, for people who are just going to move to the UK, you would say that it's better for them to have a clarity in their mind whether they want to go down the Caesar route or the CCT route.
So Caesar route, as others will agree, is not really easy. You really have to work hard. In fact, training is also not easier, but you have things in place. It is more structured.
Correct.
I would say training is any day better than Caesar, but that does not mean that if you're not getting into training, you can't do a specialty. See, the reason they have the Caesar route is so that not everyone can get into training, but then there are some people who have the skill or who have the capability to do good in a particular field, so they can go ahead in that.
Correct. Okay, thank you. And how did you score on your self-assessment and your overall, your portfolio? How was your scoring?
To be honest, at my time when I applied last year in 22, that time we had the division factor.
Correct.
So my score was I was very fortunate to get an interview call.
Okay.
I must say that I was at the bottom end of the spectrum, uh, but yeah, no, I was lucky, and by God's grace, I got
I'm
it.
sure your portfolio was good enough to, get you to the interviews. And your interviews, how did you prepare for your interviews?
So this is very interesting. Initially, I had applied only for vascular surgery training, right? So I had no idea as to what to expect.
Correct.
And then most of the groups were general surgery and vascular, but most of them were mainly general surgery applicants.
Yeah.
And then they would have WhatsApp groups and MS Teams meetings where they would, call up and on a group chat discuss, go through. And I was, to be honest, very overwhelmed by all of that until I found an equally like-minded group of colleagues from different parts of the UK preparing for just vascular surgery.
Okay.
And that was, I think, my turning point as to how I managed to get in.
So how did you
Uh,
reach out to them?
so I had joined a lot of a lot of groups on Facebook and whatever links they had. In
Yeah.
fact, you had suggested me one link.
Yeah, trainee
I think
portal, I believe.
Trainee Portal,
Not
exactly.
sponsored.
So not sponsored, but then yes, that's where I met the others as well. So
So you would
and
say
then
getting in touch with other like-minded and
yes, because I think more than reading what we need, what is important in the interview, what I've understood is clarity of thought, strong basics, and you should not you should not freeze, and you should speak very fluently.
correct.
I think that discussions that I used to have with these people was what made me eventually get the training number.
Okay.
Because if I compare myself from the first day that I had a conversation with them, the first time I tried to present something versus what I eventually did, huge difference.
All right.
I
And
would say that, find and if people are there who are preparing for interviews, find like-minded people and practice as much as you can. We used to practice at least once in 2 days initially, and then almost every other day. So that
okay.
helps.
Okay. Brilliant. And what was your NTN? Do you remember?
My uh, I remember that there are about 40 odd vascular surgery seats during my time.
Okay.
My
That's
number
it.
was 30, I think 34, 35.
Okay.
But
So how did you decide to rank your deanery?
I spoke to a lot of people, a lot of vascular trainees in each and every deanery as to what was the reason they chose that particular deanery. And that's how I eventually
Okay.
put my preference list.
Okay. And now you're in Kent, Surrey, Sussex, and you're happy with your deanery at the moment, at least.
I'm very happy. I'm
Oh,
very happy.
good. Okay. And how are you finding vascular surgery in the UK versus, what you did back in India, apart from
So,
the, work-life balance?
vascular surgery, I've still not worked in the vascular surgery department, but I've been going to theaters to see what they're doing. I've been involved with the research projects that they are doing at Frimley Park right now. It's different in the sense that they are the vascular surgery in India was mainly peripheral vascular diseases. Very few people really did abdominal aortic aneurysms, or they would take up cases for mesenteric ischemias. Here, those are legit cases which they operate, and they have a lot of interventional procedures here. So the
Okay.
vascular surgeons themselves do a lot of interventional procedures, which
Oh,
is, I think, which is also going to be the trend in India, but is not currently that much.
okay. So work-wise, you're satisfied with the variety of cases that you
Yes,
get.
definitely, definitely.
And any last piece of advice for people who want to apply for vascular surgical training in the UK? Anything that you would like to share? Just last words of wisdom.
I would say that while applying for your vascular surgery training, try to build up your portfolio. Um, Try to find out where, so there are not many things that you can improve on as far as your portfolio is concerned. Audits, publications, presentations, oral presentations, try to do as many as you can, because these do carry points. It's all about trying to get the interview. Once you get the interview, then you can always work with colleagues and prep yourself up for the interview. Biggest rate limiting step is trying to get the interview.
Okay. And for someone who's done general surgery back in India and who wants to pursue vascular surgery, would you advise them to directly move to the UK to pursue a vascular surgical training, or would you say to first finish their vascular surgery in India and then come?
I would say that for someone who doesn't mind working out of India and does not want to go back to India after general surgery, can come directly to the UK. But then before they decide on vascular surgery as a field, I would recommend that they have some experience, or even if they don't work in the vascular surgery, at least go to theaters, see what they are doing.
Okay,
Because at times some people are not very happy with that. As long as, because that is, once you pursue it, that's what you're going to do for the rest of your life.
absolutely
So you don't want to go wrong on that step.
correct.
So I would recommend that get some experience, see how things are in vascular. If you like it, it's a lovely field.
All right. Okay, thank you. That's it. I think this was very helpful for those who are pursuing vascular surgery, or like yourself, who've already completed a degree in vascular surgery in India and want to move to the UK. I'm sure they'll benefit a lot from, your words of wisdom. So thank you, Noman. Thank you so much for doing
Thank you
this
so
for us.
much.
All right. Take care.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and I really hope this helps people who want to pursue a vascular surgical career in the UK. If you want to see more such content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll see you in my next video, and until then, take care.